What's happening, everybody? Today I'm doing a discussion about the Conneticut shooting that happened, and being that there was over 20 lives that were lost due to this Conneticut shooting that just happened recently, most of them being children, by the way, and some of them being the teachers, including a principal. This really is a tragedy, and obviously it's a murder-suicide, and very reminiscent of Columbine, Virginia Tech, stuff like that of that nature. And the real purpose of why I'm making this video is because evidently there seems to be a war on video games being a evident contributor to this basically this massacre. And I'm here to talk about the fact that this is absolutely pathetic, and just to give away all my points as to why I think that this whole video game discussion and bringing video games into this is absolutely pathetic. One of the reasons why this video game thing is getting really pathetic is because, first of all, they did this with Columbine. They were doing this when Columbine happened. They were blaming video games, and it's more or less just a scapegoat to the whole thing. And first of all, nobody really knows all the ins and outs right now, so let's just get the investigation done, and then we can come up with all the ins and outs. But even then, I can't say that video games are an ultimate contributor. And one of the games that's being mentioned in this whole thing, believe it or not, one of the games that happened to be mentioned as a violent contributor to what happened here in Connecticut, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I mean, do you know how stupid that is? That is so stupid. First of all, there's other games out there that I can think of that are a heck of a lot worse than Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And just to show you at least one or maybe a few of them, let me get over and show a few of them. Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to say that this game is a little bit more violent than Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It's Battlefield 3. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of shiny right now. This game right here, you know, literally when you knife somebody, it could be knifing them right into their neck. It literally shows the animation of you knifing them right into the neck or stabbing them in the chest. It literally shows an actual special animation that they don't do in Call of Duty, which looks really awesome, by the way. And evidently, this is just one game, but evidently this is probably about the same kind of violence as Call of Duty. But I'm going to show you a game that's even more violent than Call of Duty, and I can almost guarantee that it is, so just hang on. Just 1 second. Ooh, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This game has so much violent material in it. This would be so much worse than Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I'll tell you why. I know this is kind of an old game in comparison, but it has blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, strong sexual content, use of drugs. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in this game. So if you really think Black Ops 2 is violent, this game is probably a lot more violent. And it's also a lot more fun, by the way. I don't know why I brought it up, but it is a pretty awesome game. It's an old game, but it's a pretty awesome game. Even Grand Theft Auto 4 is worse in some ways compared to this game, and that was a more newer Grand Theft Auto. I'm sorry I didn't show you guys Grand Theft Auto 4, but I no longer have it because I didn't like it because I like San Andreas better. So I apologize, but I like this game a whole lot better than GTA 4. Just that's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna say any more about it. And yeah, look, all I'm trying to say is that this video game thing is taken way out of proportion. First of all, out of the millions of people that buy Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or any other games that are super violent, in comparison to how many people go out there and do something stupid like kill a bunch of people, is such a small minority of people in comparison to how many people buy it. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's pathetic. Okay, and if somebody says that the reason why they go out and kill like 8 people is because of Grand Theft Auto, they're just using that as an excuse. That's not the ultimate reason why they did what they did. They did it because they were mental and they had issues. And apparently they couldn't decipher between a video game and reality. I mean, this whole thing is just absolutely pathetic that they are using this video game thing all over again. The war of video games just happens to continue because people make it continue. Keep in mind, the only people that say this kind of stuff about the video games being a problem are people who don't play video games and apparently don't know what they're talking about. Also, one thing I want to point out about this whole Connecticut shooting that just happened, take the Colorado shooting that happened with the guy shooting a bunch of people and calling himself the Joker. I mean, take that shooting into play for just a few moments. Look at a situation like that. He kills a bunch of people, and what are they doing now? They're trying to take him into court and figure out what to do with him. You know, the fact is, when people do this kind of stuff, we don't make an example out of them. You know, we don't say, well, we'll shoot this guy in the head and be done with it. We don't do stuff like that. We have to sit there and say, well, you know, they have rights. they have rights like any other human being. Not when you sit there and kill a bunch of people, you don't have any rights. You've lost your rights as a human being. You are no longer a contributor to society, and if anything, you're just a menace to society. And sitting here trying to take somebody to court does not solve a thing. When when the guy did what he did in Colorado, and more than 2 people saw him do what he did, not to mention the fact that maybe they caught it on camera and a bunch of other stuff, it's no doubt that this guy just has to go. They may as well just shot him, but they didn't do that. They have to try him. He has a freedom of speech, and he has rights and all this other crap. And you see, we don't make examples out of people when they do these kinds of things and massacres and all this other stuff. We don't make examples out of them. And yet, for a situation like the Conneticut shooting, we have to look over at Black Ops 2. You know how pathetic that is? Black Ops, Call of Duty sells so many copies, actually more than Grand Theft Auto. We can't sit here and blame Call of Duty for this. I mean, if anything, if you really want to say that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is actually a contributor, maybe parents should be buying their kids video games. Maybe that's a problem too. Maybe the justice system is all messed up because, look at what happened in Colorado. We didn't give justice for that system. Maybe we have some political problems. People, you need to get your facts straight. If you're going to sit there and say something, make your point a broad statement. Talk about some of the other problems that are going on. There's a bunch of problems here. We can't sit here and act like it's video games. I understand that life is no Nintendo game. But what I'm saying is that evidently we can't just sit here and act like video games are a main contributor or even a partial contributor when you actually consider the fact that realistically the majority of people who buy video games don't go out and do something this crazy in the first place. And the only reason I know that is because, let's face it, out of all the people that do these kinds of things, especially these big massacres that make it headlines and everything else, it's not because of a video game, it's because they just had mental problems. And that's the same thing that happened with this guy who killed more than 18 kids. I believe he killed like 20 kids and 6 or 7 adults. I mean, this is a tragedy. And my condolences goes to those families that lost their kids, and I don't even know what to think about something like this. It's so terrible, and we're living in a really sad world where some stuff is really going down, and we do have a lot of problems here, but we can't just act like it's just video games. The fact is, it's just a fact. I mean, look at when Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out. When Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, one person went out and killed like a few people, and he said it was because of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And it's like, first of all, that's an excuse. That's number one. Number two, the video game didn't tell him to do it. He just did it on his own behalf. And realistically, out of the millions of people that bought Grand Theft Auto Vice City, you didn't see them going out there doing this kind of stuff. You know why? Because they had a brain in between their head. They actually could tell the difference between a video game and reality. What happened when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out? Somebody did the same thing. They went out and killed a bunch of people, said it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas' fault. It's just one person out of millions of people. I mean, millions of people that buy it. Look, when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, Grand Theft Auto 4 made $500 million the first week. They made that amount of money selling Grand Theft Auto 4. They sold over, I believe, 30 million copies of Grand Theft Auto 4 in the long run. And look how many people are claiming, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto 4's fault. So far, I've only seen one person say that the reason why they went out and killed a bunch of people was because of Grand Theft Auto 4 out of millions of people. And even like I said, it's an excuse. All it is an excuse. And these people that are always saying Black Ops 2 is a contributor to this thing, all they're doing is just trying to think of a scapegoat. I mean, it's just pathetic. All I'm trying to say is it's pathetic, and that's the purpose why I'm making this video, because I can't believe someone's saying Black Ops 2 and TV and movies are a contributor to why kids are being violent. Kids are being violent because they don't have direction by their parents. The parents don't watch their behaviors. Because a lot of people can watch violent stuff. It doesn't mean they're going to go out and do something. Hey, you know what? I watch horror movies. I watch movies where people are being decapitated. You don't see me doing the same stuff. And let me tell you what I did in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. If I could tell you how many times in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, all the things I did in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, killing a bunch of people and having the army come after me, if I could tell you how many times I've done that, you would be so shocked in your face. I mean, you would be like, you would be blown away. And look at me. Does it look like I'm going to go out and kill somebody? I'm a decent person. So the whole thing about it is this whole video game thing is just getting out of proportion, and once again we have somebody feeding the conspiracy of the war on video games to be a contributor to something like this. Absolutely pathetic. I'm getting sick of this war on video games. I wish it could stop, and I want it to stop after I'm done with this video, but it's not going to. So unfortunately this whole thing is messed up, and that's all I gotta say. I'm done with this video. And I feel bad for the parents that lost their kids and everything, but nothing we can really do. The guy murdered and committed suicide, so it's just like Columbine and the other stuff. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys later.